All right, today we're going to talk about order of operations, which I know you guys have talked about some in the past, but we're going to talk about it and add a little bit more to it than you guys have used before. So when we talk about order of operations, we use something called PEMDAS, PEMDAS, to help us remember what order to put things in, okay? So the first thing, the P stands for parentheses. So we're going to solve anything that is inside of a parentheses first. Okay, so anything inside the parentheses comes first. The next thing is the exponents. So if you remember from yesterday, the exponents are these little numbers up here at the top of it, the little numbers at the top of a big number. Those were called exponents, and that's how many times we multiply that same number over and over. The next thing we're going to do is multiply and divide. So multiply and divide go together, and you go in order from left to right. So just like you read on a piece of paper, you read left to right. That's the order you're going to multiply in. And same thing with adding and subtracting. So adding and subtracting also go together, and you go in order from left to right. So you don't do adding first, then subtracting. Okay, you do whatever order it comes in from left to right. So we're going to go ahead and look at some of these problems on the next slide here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is down the side is I'm going to go ahead and write P, E, I'm going to do M and D together because we go from left to right, and then A and S together because we go from left to right in whichever order it comes in. Okay, now you guys might want a piece of paper to write these problems down. I'm going to write them in these blue boxes here, but you guys might want to write them on a piece of paper so that they're easier for you guys to see. Okay, so we're going to look at this first problem. It says 4 times 7 minus 6 to the power of 2 divided by 3. So we're going to go in the order. So the first thing we're going to look for is parentheses. Are there any parentheses in this problem? I don't see any. Okay, after our parentheses, we're going to look for exponents, and I see an exponent right here. Okay, now exponents are tricky. Remember, it means we're going to take this 6 and we're going to multiply it 2 times. So over here, I'm going to do 6 times 6. So 6 times 6 is 36. So in my problem, I'm going to rewrite the whole thing. So I'm going to say 4 times 7 minus, instead of putting 6 to the power of 2, I'm going to put 36 and then keep everything else the same, divided by 3. All right, so that's the only exponent we have. So now we're going to go to multiplication and division. We're going to go left to right. So the first thing I see is I see 4 times 7 right here. So I'm going to start there. We're going to say, 4 times 7. Well, we know that 4 times 7 is 28. So I'm going to write 28 in there instead. And then I'm going to keep the rest of the same. So minus 36 divided by 3. So notice I'm doing one step at a time, one singular step at a time. Okay? So we're going to keep reading and we're going to keep looking for multiplication and division. So 28 minus 36, oh, I see division right here, 36 divided by 3. So the next thing we're going to do is that 36 divided by 3. And 36 divided by 3 is 12. So now we're going to put a 12 down here instead of that. We're going to keep everything else the same. So we're going to say 28 minus 12. Well, I don't have any more multiplication or division, so I'm going to move on to adding and subtracting. And the only thing we have left is 28 minus 12. And 28 minus 12 is what? 16. So that is your final answer when we simplify that question. Okay. We're going to go ahead and look at the next one right here. Okay, so 3 and then parentheses 12 minus 5 plus 8 times 4. So we're going to go in the same order again. So we're going to start with our P, which is for parentheses. So we do have parentheses right here. So the first thing we're going to do is this 12 minus 5. So 12 minus 5 is 7. So we're going to do 3. We're going to keep the parentheses because they really, if you only have one number inside, they mean multiplication. We've seen that before. And we're going to keep everything else the same. 8 times 4. Okay. There's no more parentheses other than our singular number, which is fine. There's no exponents, so now we're going to look for multiplication and division. So the first thing I see here is multiplication. So 3 times 7 is 21. So we have 21, and we're going to keep the rest the same. So plus 8 times 4. We still have some multiplication right here with 8 times 4. 8 times 4 is 32. So then our last step is 21 plus 32. And 21 plus 32 is 53. So that is our final answer there. Okay, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to go ahead and scroll down to the bottom here and get my mouse going. And I want you guys to try these last two on your own. If you get stuck, go ahead and come back and play back the video and I'll explain the answers. But I'm going to do them on my own. So go ahead and pause it and try it on your own. And then come back and check and see how you did. Okay. All right, so we're going to follow the same order. So we're going to look at parentheses. So I see parentheses right here. We have 12 minus 9. 12 minus 9 is 3. Make sure you don't leave behind this exponent here when you rewrite it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to take care of is my exponent. So we have 3 squared. Remember, 3 to the power 2 or 3 squared really means 3 times 3. And 3 times 3 is equal to 9. So we're going to say 8 times 9 minus 4 times 7. Okay, there's no more exponents, so we're going to go ahead and move to multiplication and division. So 8 times 9 is our next one. And 8 times 9 is 72. We're going to keep the rest the same, minus 4 times 7. There's still multiplication right here with 4 times 7, so we're going to do 72 minus 4 times 7 is 28. And then our last step here is we have 72 minus 28. 72 minus 28 is going to give me 44 as my simplified answer. Okay, that one was a little tricky with the parentheses and the exponents, but I think you guys should have gotten it, hopefully. Okay, then we're going to look at this last one here. So there's no parentheses in it, but there is an exponent right here. So we have 4 to the power of 2. So again, 4 times 4, because it tells us that we multiply the base 2 times. 4 times 4 is 16. So in here, I'm going to put 16. So we're going to do 6 times 5 minus 16 divided by 2. Okay, we're going to do multiplication in order from left to right. Multiplication and division left to right. So we have both multiplication and division, but we're going to go left to right. So 6 times 5 is going to come first. So 6 times 5 is 30. And then we're going to keep minus 16 divided by 2. So the next thing we have is this division right here with 16 divided by 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So say 30 minus 8. And our last step is to do 30 minus 8, which is going to end up being 22 as your answer. All right, so go ahead and go to Schoology and complete your assignment for today. Have a good day, guys.